Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning or this evening, depending on whether you're here in the Southern Hemisphere or in the Northern Hemisphere? Welcome. It's great to have you with me this morning. And it's been a very busy day yesterday. I launched another new book. It's Trauma-Informed Movement, but it's all about how we use our breath and our body when it's moving and so much more to develop an awareness internally and also to create new neural pathways. And it's amazing the difference that it's made in my life. So I wanted to have it there for you as well so that you could have the difference in your life also. Good morning, girls. It's wonderful to have you here with me this morning. Now, this morning is very different. I'm not going to have absolute answers of do this, this, and this, because this at the moment is a work in progress. Okay, so as I go into head towards remission, I've been working out and trying to find as much information as I can, but it's through the experience this morning that I'm finding answers and putting parts of it's like putting a jigsaw puzzle in front of you and then getting all the pieces together. So this morning I've reached a point where I've put together a number of pieces, and I've also got some ideas for you which do work, okay, in this part. And so when you're at this stage and you're ready to put these pieces together, they will work for you. But it's not cut and dried because, one, we're all different. Oh, sorry, I woke up with hay fever this morning, but that's aside. But we want to be able to put the pieces together in a way that each day when we're taking steps, we become more well, all right? So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ali. Good morning, Diana. Girls, with me, it's all right. Okay, so this morning's topic is depression and sexual abuse, but we're not going to talk about one or the other. We're actually going to talk about the impacts that together they have in our adult life, all right? So it's not about going back to the past. Good morning, Katie. Catch up. Sorry, I didn't read that properly. Good morning. Welcome. So this morning we've got Ireland, America. Yep, that's what we're doing this morning. And Australia, of course. Australia turned up this morning. Oh my goodness. It's just amazing how we can all get together. And I noticed that all of you get to know each other in the thread as well. It's just wonderful. When we make connections and they're safe connections, it helps our recovery incredibly. Okay, so good morning everybody who comes along. If you're here for the replay, do a hashtag replay. And Anne's here from Scotland as well. Awesome. We're becoming more global every morning. If you're here live, feel welcome to say g'day because we all say g'day to each other. And just relax. This information will be out in a specialised recovery book for you at the end of the week. But I want you this morning just to be able to sit, put your hands on your heart and just breathe and build an awareness into you where you can see this information in your day-to-day life, okay? Now, it's something that we have to build an inner awareness of. It's not something that we can go, oh yeah, I'm going to grab that information off the shelf and then I can see it externally. We can see the external effect of what I'm going to talk to you about, but in order to have the change internally, we've got to build a definite increasing internal awareness, all right? So, excuse me. Actually, I should have grabbed some water too. Never mind. Right. So with complex PTSD and depression, it's multifaceted. So we can say, oh, you know, we can end up in that state of depression where we literally can't get out of bed. And it's very real and very genuine. I mean, you girls come along every morning and see me and I'm bright and cheery, and that's absolutely me to a T. But I could wake up on a Saturday morning and as soon as I open my eyes, I'm aware that I'm not going to be able to move my body and need to stay there and sleep for 3 hours or however long because the depression trigger's gone off and I haven't recognised it. Now, when I say that, I'm serious, because when a different part of our brain goes off with the anxiety trigger, all right, it's instant. We know virtually instantly when unconsciously the whole alarm response in our brain goes off because we're standing there out of nowhere, terrified. The fear's there. Our heart's racing. We're perspiring. Well, if you're like me, you're perspiring. It's dripping off you. And even in air conditioning. And we have all these effects that happen and we know, we go, oh, my internal alarm system's gone off and I don't know why. Now, the depression trigger, on the other hand, is a lot more insidious. It's like, you know, you watch those movies where the guys are on secret mission, and actually, why do they never have women on secret missions? Anyhow, a bunch of men in black ops in the forest and they're sneaking through until they reach their target. Well, the depression trigger's like that. It comes along and it sneaks up. Well, the depression trigger goes off, but the effects of it just sneak up on us. And all of a sudden, you know, we're in bed for 3 hours on a Saturday and we don't know why. And that's because it's gone off days ago and we hadn't realised. So this made me think, right? Now, if the depression trigger goes off, and it's insidious, it's so pervading into every facet of ourselves and so disruptive that I went, right, if I can develop the awareness of when the depression trigger goes off, then I'm going to be able to manage it. Okay, and we talked a bit about that yesterday. But then the other side of it, I said, okay, if the depression trigger goes off, and I don't know it goes off, what am I doing during that time? So I sat back and had a really good think about it, and I've been thinking about it for some time, because unless I can give you the information so that you can recognise it, or, okay, it's self-centered, unless I can recognise it and help you, then, what's the point? And I went, right, so my whole thought process was, if the depression trigger goes off, I don't know it, what is my behaviour and how is that changing over time where I all of a sudden don't know that it's gone off, right? Now, it fully interrupted my week last week. I did not wake up when my alarm went off. Like, literally didn't hear it, nothing. Like, how do you not hear an alarm going off, right? And this happened to me 2 mornings in a row. And this is how I know, because first of all, I missed it the first morning, didn't hear it at all. And I missed a client from overseas, right? Now, that's not like me. The next morning, I made a point of setting 2 different alarms, so not just on one. So I had multiple alarms going off every 5 minutes on this set. Then I've got an alarm clock beside my bed, and it went off, and it's so piercing, but I kept hitting snooze because I literally couldn't get my mind to wake up. And after half an hour of this happening, I went, I need another solution. I need to understand how the depression trigger can get to the point where I can't even hear an alarm going off. So I worked backwards. And that's often what I do is I reach the point where, okay, we're going, right, this is the consequence of the depression trigger going off. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And I took hay fever medication. But how or why, the bigger question became, why am I not realizing it when it goes off? So I thought about it. What is my behavior? Now, what I became aware of is in childhood sexual abuse, we develop, so think of dissociation, we develop different parts of our mind where we go to our safe spaces as a child in order to get through what we had to get through as a child. Now, as adults, what can happen is when things become stressful for us, and remember, as adults, we're going, I'm an adult, I should be able to deal with this, so we don't even think about it, we just get on and do what we've got to do. At those times, I became aware then I must be automatically, without my knowledge, going into one of these spaces in my mind where I go, I've just got to get on with this and I've just got to do it, got to make it happen. And because that happens automatically, because those places in our mind that we developed are strong places, okay? So you think about how many people say to you, oh, you're such a strong person. Or you know that they think you're a strong person because they come to you for help all the time, all right? Or you know you're a strong person because you just get up and you get stuff done, all right? They are the strong parts of our mind that we access, that we developed during our childhood, okay? So they're not bad places, but they're places that as a healthy adult we can still access and we go off to and we go, all right, I'm not feeling, internally, I'm not feeling 100%, okay? And we can be dismissive of when the depression trigger goes off and we can say to ourselves, oh, look, I've just got to get on with it, all right? And even that habit can be developed in our childhood, or the attitude of, I've just got to get on with it, okay? And I know for me, I definitely had that attitude of, well, this is all happening. I don't have time to wallow in the emotion of it all. I've just got to get on with it. All right. So you think about that small child and how much they just had to get on with it or put up with what's going on, even though so many emotions are going, that in our adulthood, we're saying, well, nothing's as bad as it was back then, so I've just got to get on with it. And I went, oh my goodness, this is what I needed to understand, because this is a habit that I know I have, pardon me, where I say to myself, okay, I'm not 100%, I feel like I need to, sit down for half an hour, but I don't, because I know I say to myself, no, it's okay, just push it over to that side. And I've just got to get on with what I've got to do. It's more of a priority than sitting down and, really be building a deeper internal awareness. And I went, my goodness, this is just, wow, this is really, really starting to make sense of a habit that I now have to change. And I've got to build into myself an awareness of where I go, no, push, 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 because I do. I'm very much, I love my work and I'm very much, let's go, let's get it done. So like yesterday, I put out a new book and I wake up today, I'm like, let's go, let's get it done. I'm like, no, let's slow down and enjoy today. And Ali, when you read the Jesus Calling, the first paragraph for today, you'll laugh because it's spot on. Let's not worry about tomorrow or anything else. Let's just bring our focus into today and enjoy today. And I don't have to have it all done. I can enjoy this moment. Now, when you think about what childhood sexual abuse does in the mind, we go, right, I need to teach myself that I'm safe to enjoy this moment. Now, this is what will have happened with my girlfriend when I went and met her for coffee on Saturday. I'm sitting there, we're having fun and enjoying catching up with each other because we don't get to do it that often. And next thing you know, because I'm in that moment and I feel good, I literally became aware that the depression trigger went off because I felt the whole chemical change in my body, because all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I want to fall asleep like that. I'm literally holding up my head on the table like this going, I'm either going to have to leave or I'm going to have to work out how to manage my way through this so that I can stay and enjoy myself. Now, one of the things about our triggers is they still go off when we're enjoying ourselves until our brain gets used to the fact that we can enjoy ourselves safely, okay? But that's a lot quicker and easier to get through than everything else that we've had to work up towards. So we've got to build this awareness into ourselves of when our life gets disrupted from the internal. It's not external, it's from the internal responses that are happening in our brain. They are at deep levels, they are not our fault. There is nothing we can do to change the response, but there is always lots we can do to begin to manage the chemical outflow that's happening internally as well, all right? Don't ever, I know we do feel ashamed at times because we've got no control, but let's learn to turn the shame around into, man, I've got this. I am going to conquer this mountain. I may end up on the couch later for an hour, passed out, because I'm fighting through the forest, right? But I'm going to get up and I'm going to, have a really good, fulfilling day to the best of my ability and go, yeah, I am and I will conquer this mountain. Now, I've not read this information anywhere. This is something that I'm coming through as I talk to you. Now, if you're at the stage of recovery where anxiety is more prominent than anything, then we need to deal with the anxiety level, all right? We need to deal with the anxiety trigger, and we deal with it differently to the depression trigger, because I can absolutely confirm that years ago when I went to the doctor in all my naivety, I said, I don't have depression. This anxiety is crippling me. I just need help with the anxiety. And he said to me, well, they go hand in hand. I said, no, I don't have depression. And you know what? I had no clue all of this was happening internally, because I've had to build this internal awareness. The trauma-informed movement has helped me know and develop the internal awareness, develop the ability to let go of the pain that I've held onto in my heart. Now, I want to be really raw and real with you, because I don't have answers just yet for this part. But last night when I was asleep, I literally woke myself up crying out in my sleep because my heart was broken, because the father of my children had died. Now, he died, I'm not sure, but it could, what's Josh? Yeah, 10 years ago. And we were divorced at the time, but I loved him, all right? But I'm also aware that there have been things that I've had to hold on to emotionally inside me in order to get through all the years that I've had to get through, okay? So when I cried out in pain, like, it was literal physical pain, it wasn't emotional pain. It was what I'd had to hold on to all these years. Obviously, to do with the fact that he died. I was unwell when he died. And there's a whole lot of stuff that went on around that time. But my body's letting go of stuff I don't feel sad this morning. I don't feel anything about it. I'm just still probably got to sit down and work through the thought process. But I honour the fact that I held on to that for a very long time, that it was very painful that he died. And while we did speak before he died, look, we don't get married because we hate someone. And I did love him, all right? We just couldn't work through stuff in the bigger picture. So we do hold on to this stuff in our bodies, in our minds, and we may not even know what it is. So for me, the trauma-informed movement, getting my brain to work together with my body and my breathing, is actually helping me release a lot of this stuff, okay? Now, so manage our anxiety trigger first, all right? That'll be the first thing that we need to do. I don't really suffer from anxiety except when I go to, like I did the gym last week, to a new place, and it's like having to mind map out what's happening. Begin to manage our time and what we do just today. Begin to be aware of when I'm asking too much of myself, but also when I'm not. I don't have the problem with not doing enough. I'm always in overdrive. But some people do not have expectations of themselves that they will get things done or manage their time. We need to strike the balance is the best thing. Now, one of the things that's helped me get to this place is to keep notes. All right, so I journal, I keep notes of my progress. I have, apart from having a calendar for appointments on my phone and on my computer, I also have a visual, sorry, I don't know if you can see that, a visual diary of what my week looks like with times, because when I can see it, I can mind map it as what's got to happen today, what chunks of time I've got, where I'm going, etc., etc. I find that easier than just having it electronically. And then what you can do each day is map in what you were doing at what times at the end of the day, and that's going to give you an increased internal awareness of, did I dissociate and run off, for a few hours? Not intentionally. I can't actually emphasize enough that this is not intentional, all right? It's like what I said earlier in the chat this morning. We do it automatically to cope with stress. So in order to undo it, we have to build into awareness of when something feels stressful as well. And that way we're going to be able to recognize the depression trigger a lot quicker, all right? So we've got to build build ourselves into a space where everything is working together. Okay? I hope this helps. I will have more questions around this subject for you to observe in the booklet at the end of the week. If you have any questions, please feel welcome to ask. And yes, Diana, I saw your post yesterday about letting your grief go and waking up without an emotional hangover. And I love the words. When we're doing this work, it's very true that we can be in a space where we can actually cry for hours, well, not hours, cry for an extended period of time, but it's our body releasing it, not ourselves in the here and now. All right, it's our body letting go of all the energy that we've held on to for so long, emotional energy. But then when we wake up the next day, we don't have that emotional hangover. We don't have that feeling of being down, and that's an awful thing. What we do have is, wow, I've processed that. And the deeper stuff might take a couple of days to go through. I've been there. Drink lots of water, okay? Make sure when these emotional waves come up that you drink water. It's our body getting rid of the toxic stuff we've held on to. and it helps, and rest, but then we wake up and we go, wow, I've made it through, I've let another one go. And it builds our courage as well, that we can face everything that we've held on to today and let it go and become everything that we're meant to be in this life. Carve paths out that we never even knew that we were meant to go down. All right? So I hope this helps this morning. Honour your heart space, all right? Take it easy. It's not going to happen overnight. The depression trigger and coming through it won't happen overnight, but we will build deeper awareness around it, and we will be able to go, oh, I can recognise the things that force me into the space where I'm going, no, I've just got to get over it. Well, I've just got to get on with it. That's better. And we will conquer this mountain. Absolutely. I'm leaving no stone unturned so that nobody has to go through this ever, ever again, to the extent that I have, where you literally, your whole system shuts down because the amount of stress over the number of years was just overwhelming. Okay? Diana said, I'm so grateful to you for sharing your journey so I can understand mine better. Oh, you're more than welcome, because I have searched, I've been on this journey now for, I don't know, let's just say over 30 years, and looking for the answers that would help me make sense. Now, I was thinking about this last night, and I remember going to a psychologist. Now, this would have been, I don't know how long ago, and let's just say 20 years ago. Actually, I'll show you. And this is what I would have done. Is this it? I hope this is it. Oh no, here it is. This is the manual that I've written about how to go within. I would have walked into his office with this manual in a folder like this, big thick thing that I've written, and it works. And I remember standing there saying to him, you know, this is what I've done, this is what I do, this is what I teach other people. And I didn't have the words back then, but I knew that something was still broken inside of me. And when I thought about it last night, I went, even if I'd sat there and been able to have the language and say to him, look, I'm productive in life, I'm helping other people, I'm raising a family, married, blah, 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 blah. But there is still something so wrong with my life internally that I can't work it out. Please help me. So even if I'd used that language with him, because externally it looks like your life's just dandy. Well, you know, you're teaching and you're helping other people, and, you know, you're a wife and a mother. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Just, you know, poodle off. No, I'm crying out for help. And sorry, it's been a long journey trying to find these answers. I've got to be honest. It's very challenging just to think back to those times when I've gone to seek professional help and basically only to have the door shut on me and saying you're fine, just because you're articulate, you're intelligent, you're helping others, you're putting stuff together, then you're fine. It's, you know, it's almost like saying everything that you're feeling is, you know, you're just imagining it. I walked out of there, and fortunately for me, because of my nature is, you know, I don't give up. I'm persistent. I won't give in until I find answers. That I've reached this point where, you know, no one can tell me this stuff. I'm just working it out as I go along in order to help other people as well. Thank you. And I really appreciate that you come along and join me because I value each one of you. It means a lot to me that you come along and join in too. And I just hope that it helps you be able to begin to put pieces of your own puzzle together, and that if a professional ever says something similar to you, so I don't say it from my heart to say they're bad at all, all right? Everyone has limited bits and pieces, but I do say this to you in order that if that ever happens to you, that somebody looks at you and says your external life is together, you're working, you know, this, and this, and you feel broken on the inside, then there's work that we can do, all right? And we can rebuild our lives, and we can reclaim who I am into a space where we live full and productive lives, okay? Don't ever let a professional, you know, just because they don't know the answers right now, it doesn't mean that we can't work them out. And I spend my life with clients helping them work out what's happening for them internally as well, because it is so, 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 so important, the internal stuff, so that we can go on and be well and whole and healthy, okay? Thanks, girls. Oh, that's good, Brooke. Rachel, I don't feel very brave some days. Yeah, that's interesting you say that, Rachel, because I don't know what I was reading something about mental health the other day, and I've been talking about it, well, been on doing this sort of thing for over a year now, and I forget, well, I don't even think about it. It's not that I think about it and forget. I just haven't put a lot of thought into whether people are actually talking about mental health or not. It's, for me, we've got to talk about it, because if it's kept behind closed doors, who does that help? Not us. You know, how are we supposed to become well and become contributing members in our life? And it's so precious to be able to help other people in whatever field that you go into in life. It's such a blessing in our own lives to help other people. And that's why people go into our group and feel so blessed, because it's a group full of people who love helping other people and know that it's value. You know, there's so much value in that as well. Oh, thank you, Ali. You're more than welcome. Yeah, Diana, I never thought that this is what hope truly is. It is. It is, isn't it? We give each other hope that today and tomorrow, we are going to break through the boundaries that have held us back in the past. Yeah. Okay, so you're only allowed to think about one thing today and just do one thing. So even if it's just time, managing our time and getting used to what's happening with time, then that's what we do. We take one step once a day. And I'm sorry, girls, I've got you here longer than normal as well. Oh my goodness, I apologise. Some of you need to go to sleep because daylight saving happened. Okay, we'll wind it up here. Thank you for coming along and joining in. I love it that we get to chat. And I will see you again tomorrow morning, and we will chat some more. All right. Have a wonderful, sweet dreams, everybody. And in the Southern Hemisphere, have a fantastic day. Okay, bye for now.